Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a fascinating comparison that I often encounter in my practice, one that sheds light on how we perceive value. Have you ever heard someone compare a full arch implant bridge to buying a car? It might sound a little strange at first, but let's break down why this analogy comes up so frequently and what it reveals about our priorities. Now, I'll admit, when a patient tells me that procedure is like getting a car, I don't usually argue in the moment, but in my head, the wheels start turning. Why do patients often draw this parallel? The most obvious reason, of course, is the price tag. The cost of a significant dental restoration can indeed be comparable to the down payment or even the total cost of a new vehicle. But here's where it gets interesting. Patients inherently see the value in a car. They understand its importance, its function, and the benefit it brings. Yet when it comes to their own teeth, that same perceived value often isn't there. And I constantly wonder why. I believe a major factor is the sheer power of marketing. The automotive industry is arguably the most heavily marketed industry on earth. We are bombarded with ads constantly that remind us the importance of our cars. These aren't just about getting from point A to point B. They're about self-improvement, status, looking cool, the freedom of the open road, or the functionality of towing capacity. We become enamored with the idea of owning a car. In fact, almost all of my patients probably own a car, and car ownership in North America is a pretty unique beast, with a lot of leasing and financing costs. Now let's look at the numbers. The statistics I could find suggest that on average, people keep their cars for about 8 years. And in that time, a car's value depreciates significantly, often by half, maybe even 3/4 of its original price. Think about that for a second. The value you lose from car ownership over just 8 years is probably the exact same amount as performing a full arch implant bridge. And what happens? Patients don't seem to have an issue with this depreciation. Their car devalues, they move on, buy a new one, and they rarely complain. It's just accepted as part of the deal. Furthermore, consider how we actually use our cars. Most people with a typical career drive their car to work, park it, work their job, and then drive back home. People living in urban centers often don't even drive more than 10 to 20 kilometers a day. The car is used for perhaps 5% of the regular day. Yet, that feeling the car industry markets so heavily is what truly enamors patients. They have no problem spending or losing that value over 8 years to have that feeling when they drive to work and back home. Let's contrast that with a fixed dental implant bridge. When you perform this procedure on someone, it affects them every single time they talk, every time they smile, every time they laugh, every time they eat. Think about job interviews, dates, or simply interacting with other human beings. Every single human connection that they have will be affected by the quality of their prosthetic. And unlike a car, which is used for a fraction of the day and owned for only about 8 years, a dental prosthetic is used for probably at least half the day and is typically owned for 20, 25, or even 30 years. So when a patient tells me a dental procedure is expensive, I often find myself thinking about this comparison. It's funny how they consider dental work to be an expensive procedure when realistically, I think car ownership is the one that's more expensive in the long run, especially when you factor in depreciation and the comparatively limited use. And it all comes back to marketing, doesn't it? Patients tend to see the value in a car a lot more than they see the value in themselves, or specifically in their oral health. I don't know if that's interesting or if that's just a little bit sad, but it's a thought that goes through my head every single time a patient tells me, well, that's roughly the price of a car. And I always wonder, when they go into a car dealership, if they think to themselves, well, that's kind of the price of my teeth. Thank you for listening. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with this comparison? What do you value more? Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more insights. We'll see you next time.